Hi.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Good morning, everybody.
We here. We's here.
Happy Coffee Date Monday.
Coffee day to Monday. Good to see you guys. We are out here with Coffee Date Monday, Arizona, Chandler, Arizona edition.
Yeah.
We just out here, you guys. Coming out here to see family and friends. Chandler, Arizona. Yeah, there you go, babe.
Yeah, so hopefully everybody had a great weekend.
Yep. There you go. You can actually scoot back from the camera. There you go. There we go. Now you got look. You seen that look. We are a setup. This is just a setup. We're in a hotel, and we don't have our equipment and stuff. So just bear with us.
Got the makeshift studio happening.
Right. Mm-hmm. Got the refrigerator, ice maker going right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Yeah. So we're filming from our hotel room today, and yeah, it's good. It works.
Why are we down here, babe?
Yeah, we went to visit Legacy Church in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Chandler, Arizona, and it was phenomenal. Phenomenal, great time. If you guys don't know, Justin and Dee Hamilton.
Delicia.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Delicia. I have to give her government name, right? Delicia. They are out here in Chandler. They planted a church, and it is doing wonderful. I mean, that's an understatement to say that they are doing ministry with an excellence, blowing up. Everything's good. Good word, great people. Did I say excellence?
I think excellence is one of them explained that excellence is one of their core values, and it was definitely felt like from a guest standpoint, it definitely felt the spirit of excellence.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what was really good about it is we got here and got to see family. Some of our old members that came down, family that are helping Justin in ministry, and they're here. And it was so good to see everybody. And we'll probably post some pictures later on. And then we ran into some other people that actually just came down here and ran into Dee and Justin. And it was like, boom. I mean, I didn't know they were down here. I didn't know who they were. And one of the people has got a guy named Jaman, and then his wife, Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was funny because, I run into so many people, and plus, you guys, it just happened. We were so tired. And people were coming up to me, and they're like, hey. And I'm like, look, and I'm like, I know him from somewhere. And then Jaman was talking, and I looked at Maria, and I was like, Maria. And then finally she says, yeah, I said, wait a minute. I said, no, this is what I said to her. I said, are you Latina? She goes, yes, I'm Sabrina's cousin. And I was like, oh, I completely didn't put it together.
He didn't fill me in on that. And
I did.
It was pretty cool because when I met Maria, and I didn't know her name at the time, also at Legacy Church yesterday, she said, when I walked in, I said to myself, that's Pastor John's voice.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I know Pastor John's voice. And I was thinking, I wonder how she knows that. And then she said, I follow your Coffee Date Monday. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow, that is so cool. But I still didn't know any connection to the building or any connection to Sabrina Cherub, one of our beloved old building members. I still didn't know that was who it was. And so I was just like, wow, that's so cool that you knew Pastor John from Coffee Date Monday. Because, Coffee Date Monday goes live on like Facebook and stuff like that. And we share it. We make it public. So lots of people like outside of our circle was able to catch Coffee Date Mondays. And so I never knew the connection. And so Maria, I'm so sorry. If you're watching, I am so sorry that I did not make that connection. Like if you told me, like, let me tell you something. Like we caught the plane at like 4 a.m. the day before. Yeah. And then as soon as we landed in Arizona, because there's so many family members or people that we miss that are here, we hit the ground running. So we have been so sleep deprived the entire time. And so I feel like running into you, you encountered the sleepy Kaya. So I apologize for if you did say that and I didn't make that connection, but that's super cool. We actually reached out to Sabrina this morning and just let her
Oh
know
yeah,
that
we let Sabrina know too.
that we ran into her cousin, and that's so
Hey,
cool.
Amelia.
Yeah, so hopefully
Yeah.
this will not be the last time that we get a chance to fellowship with Legacy Church. And when we come back next time, like we would love like to hook up with Maria and her husband, because it sounds like you and her husband have a lot in common.
We got a lot in
Yes,
common.
and so that would be really cool.
We got a whole
That would
lot
be
in
cool.
common.
So the next time we come, we definitely want to like get some time with them and have lunch with them. So
Yeah, for sure.
it was so nice. It's been nice.
It has been great.
I gotta tell you guys something. Like I am drinking the best coffee that I
Ooh.
have had the entire time that I've been here in Arizona, like the entire time. And honestly, probably the best coffee I've had in a while, because right now I've been taking a serious break from Starbucks. I have not had Starbucks coffee in forever, except for when people like bring it to me or gift me a coffee that they made. They might order me a coffee from Starbucks. I'll drink it. I'm not like, standing on the corner protesting or anything like that. And so this morning, John and I went over to visit Leilani. I don't know if any of you guys remember Leilani McCall, right?
Mhm.
McCall. She's a young lady that used to go to the building that also migrated here to Arizona. And so she said, you guys should come by my job. And I'm like, yes, we would come by your job. I'll come by your job and get a coffee. She made us the best coffee this morning. Like, you guys, it is so good. Like, I literally have like this much left. And I was like trying to save a little bit so I can actually drink some coffee during Coffee Date Monday, but it is so good. Like, I'm having a hard time like trying to hold on to my coffee. So if I start talking a lot this morning,
And you're loud
it
too
has
right
a
now.
lot to do
Yeah.
with this scrumptious coffee.
Yep.
All right, go ahead. I'll stop talking so loud.
No. It's good. I like when you're involved. I really like, because a lot of stuff flows out of you. Because there's some stuff we want to talk about today. Because last time we met with you guys, we talked about what now? Like, what now? What's going on with us after the heart transplant? So we're talking about this other side of hope, and we'll probably be talking about this for a long time. And we're going to open up our lives to you guys like we have been already. But just sharing some of the nuances of what it looks like that you've been praying for, all the things you've been praying for, and all that other stuff. And then all of a sudden, you get what you prayed for, but then it comes with a lot of things. And I think it was like Jesus himself said, to the disciples, he says, do you know what you're asking for?
Do you even know what you're praying for?
What are you praying for? He says, are you able to drink from this cup that I have? And I just want to let you guys know, keep praying for the things that you want, but just make sure that you're going to be able to sustain what you've been praying for.
That you're actually ready to receive it. And so for us, like on the other side of things, like with the heart transplant, it was like, man, great. A lot of things happened after the heart transplant, but when we finally made it home, and we talked to you guys a lot about that last week, about some of the nuances that we had in some of our relationships, even with our kids and ministry, getting back to like our life. Things just weren't the way we felt like we left it. But a lot of reasons why I feel like things didn't feel the same is because I feel like we were not the same. We were not the same. And when we first came back and we had our first Coffee Date Monday, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember. I was telling you guys, like, y'all, a lot has happened. Like a lot. Like we have a lot to say. One of the things that was really hard is like, yeah, we were not the same. This guy was not the same. Like he had, like, I don't even know if we actually counted the amount of medications or the list. It was a laundry list. You guys, they made an Excel spreadsheet. The doctors made an Excel spreadsheet of all his medications and the different times that he had to take them, because some of them have to be taken a number of times a day. It was a 3-page Excel spreadsheet, you guys. It was on 3 pages of medications.
That was not including the insulin I had to take.
Oh yeah, and then he was a diabetic when he came out of the hospital. Like we had to do shots. We had to get used to that.
Checking blood, checking your
blood sugar levels, and then knowing how to do the shots, which really intimidated me because I'm like, what if we do the wrong amount of insulin? And I do girl math. Like my math be funny. So I was really nervous about that. We had a lot to get used to with that. But you guys, like a lot of the medications, especially like the steroid medications, had effects, y'all. It had some some symptoms.
It's prednisone.
Yeah.
Prednisone, it's a steroid, not like an anabolic steroid, but it's still a steroid. And it comes with effects. And I think some of those effects will come with like mood swings.
Serious.
Anger,
Yeah.
and then also
Bursts of anger.
and also some of the stuff too is not only that, but coming out of the hospital, I've always knew I was hyperactive. Always knew. You guys know John Random Butcher. My mom always told me when I was young that, you know, I'd always lose things and everything else like that. And then as I got older, people were like, "Oh, you have ADHD." And when I got back out of when I came out of the hospital and they had me go do a psych eval, is when they told me, they're like, "You are classic adult onset ADHD."
So he is experiencing ADHD in a real way.
In a real way, and we're trying to combat that. And it's been helping. It's been helping. Some of the stuff, therapy once a week, trying to make sure. Well, we'll give a commercial in a little bit, but yeah, it just really, during that time with the medicine, it really put a wedge into our relationship. My relationship, not just with my wife, but also with people. Period.
His kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was saying, like, the doctors didn't talk enough about some of the side effects with some of the medications. And so when we got home, there was some struggles that John and I had in our marriage. Like, literally, like, there were some arguments that were happening that felt like they came out of nowhere. And I was literally like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? Like, there were some serious, serious challenges happening in our relationship with each other. And I've been saying, and I'm so happy that he's come off of some of those medications, you guys. It's a huge testament to this new thing that we're on. We're all about our gut health right now. Huge testament. However, I feel like the doctors did not talk enough about some of the experiences or the side effects of some of that medication and how it was going to make John feel and even react to certain things. And so I've been saying, y'all, prednisone, the steroids, almost took our marriage out, y'all. Like, I was literally like, what is happening right now?
But it wasn't just the prednisone. I don't think Kai really realized it. It's just for both of us. It wasn't just the prednisone, but it was the experience of trauma in being in a state of limbo. Like, am I going to live? Am I going to die? What is my life going to look like? All that.
Am I always going to be this weak?
Right.
Like,
all this stuff. And then, so what happens is, what people don't realize is post-traumatic distress, when it happens, people don't realize it. And you're looking at two people are arguing. You have two people that got this stress, you got trauma, and you're going back and forth. And then put the medication that I'm dealing with, you add that into the mix, and it's volatile. And my God, you don't even know what kind of stuff we were going through.
It's literally like this guy was on medication cocktails like every day. And it was like, you don't really know what you're going to get as far as like hormone levels.
So hormone, that's another thing. Hormone levels.
It was a whole thing. And we never saw that coming. Like, we didn't factor in that part mentally.
That's once again, the other side of hope.
It's the other side. Like, it's literally like, yes, we got what we prayed for. This guy has a new heart. It's functioning well. His body and the heart is now getting along. Everything's great. However, there's some medications to help the body adjust to this new arrangement to keep the body calm. And with that came some stuff that we did not see coming. And so layers upon layers of these struggles that we had.
The shakiness, I still deal with shakiness.
Tremble.
Yeah, the tremors because of the medication. Man, I can keep going on with the
brain fog.
The brain
also
fog,
a big one.
Yep.
Burst of angers. Brain fog. Some
fog. Sometimes confusion, which can contribute from the ADHD or lack of vitamins, whatever else, stuff like that. But to get back to it is all the medications. Like, literally, I remember, and I took a picture on Facebook when we got to rehab, and I looked at my hand, and I was taking 22 pills in the morning.
Just at one time.
At one time. And that was just in the morning. And then late morning, I would take 8. And then late afternoon, I would take about 5. And then in the evening, I'd probably take about another 10 pills. So that I was dealing with that kind of medication, from fungal, antifungal medication to anti-rejection to what is it, baby? You remember some of the medication? The microphenolate, what was it? You don't remember? Anyway, it lowers your immune system. So there were immune blockers, was taking those things and doing all that stuff was just so much, but nobody knew that was going to have this effect in our lives. So,
Yeah. So it was definitely a struggle. It was definitely a struggle.
yeah, so we were fighting sometimes, a couple of
Arguing.
times.
Yes, we were arguing.
I
For
think we
sure.
were fighting sometimes because, well, for me, I'll talk to me about myself. There were times that I found myself arguing just to win. And that's something that we shouldn't do in our relationship. So when you're fighting just to win, then that's a fight. When we discuss, that's something else. We argue, we can argue, but fighting, I would fight. And, finally we got to a point where we were able, and this, I'm just going to share this with you guys, is that God is real. When you put him first, even while we have disagreements, even when I'm fighting, if you submit to God, just something in me, I'm sure it was the spirit in me, because in my flesh, I wanted to be right. But because I submit to the Lord and in his will and his way, once I go to pray and get my flesh out of it, he'll tell me what I've done wrong. And I mean, this has been a lot of praying, a lot of examining of my life. And it didn't matter what Kai was doing. It didn't matter what Kai said or whatever was going on. It didn't have nothing to do with my children and not, being disrespecting me, all this other stuff. It was me. It's about how I react in the fruits of the spirit that the Lord gave me. So I had to crucify my flesh. I went, and the Lord, he is so merciful. He's so graceful. He actually, I remember one day after Kai and I had gotten to this big argument, and I went outside, and I just said, Lord, is it me? What is this? Because I know what I'm saying is true. And then the Lord he is gentle. He was gentle, but he sat me down. And I'm just giving you pictures how I saw it. He kind of just sat me down, and he began to show me all these different things about how I was towards my parents and how I was towards my wife. And he says, now look, I've been patient with you, but are you going to be patient with your children? Are you going to be patient with your wife? Are you going to serve your wife no matter what? And the Lord just really calmed me down. So that's what gave me the resolve. He didn't take it from me. I just was allowing the Lord and just crucifying my flesh. And then eventually, as I prayed and changed myself, is when the situation changed.
Yeah. So there was definitely a lot of like soul seeking stuff like that. Like, Lord, we need help right now to kind of gauge through this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to blame everything on the medications, but the medications definitely had a factor in. But coming out of a situation where we had zero control over things, like coming out of a situation where we had zero control to going into our next season of trying to search for what we could control. And some of the things that we felt like we could control was one another, was our kids, was what was going on in ministry, because in health wise, in our situation, we felt zero control. So it made this emphasis. It made this emphasis, or this um, magnified desire to try to over control the things that we could control.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of the difficulty came, because it's like, first of all, you're never going to be in control of anything, because control is an illusion. It is not real. We think we have control, but we don't have control over anything. The Lord is sovereign over everything. But yeah, growing pains for sure. But I'm so thankful that we're in this moment and able to look back and see all the different factors and the pressures that were on our relationship, and then just us personally, because of course I'm sorting through my own trauma. I probably needed some therapy a long time ago.
She did.
But I'm still in warrior mode, so it's like I'm fine, everything's fine. But man, like at this point, I'm so thankful that the Lord would deliver us to this moment, and we are able to look back and see that, man, we made it, but we would not have made it without prayer. And so it brings me to this point of, when we desire a husband, when we desire a spouse, when we desire a wife, Like, don't desire somebody that's going to meet your needs in the current moment, but somebody that will change your diapers later on. Like somebody that will live with you, strengthen you, encourage you outside of you meeting their own physical needs. Like literally, like that's literally like what we were able to look back and see that this is a marriage that the Lord has built within us, like our relationship that the Lord has built with both of us, that can sustain sickness, that can sustain weakness, that can sustain the fact that we don't have any strength in ourselves to lend to one another, which is really huge because a lot of times people get married because they want somebody to be something to fulfill this need or this void for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not fair. That's a unspoken, unfair expectation for us to put any kind of needs or outside of what that person is supposed to be able to bring into your life. The Lord makes us whole. The Lord strengthens us. The Lord is our substance. You know, the Lord is our strength, not my husband. And so that's why it's important that we always preach like, man, get your relationship right with the Lord first, because that relationship is going to sustain and outlive
Preach.
every other relationship
Preach.
that we ever have, even including our kids. Like, do not put unspoken, unfair expectations on your kids to do something, to be something for you. It's not fair, you know? And so getting and walking through and coming out of a lot of things that we've come out of, it's like, I'm super thankful that in those hard times where I felt like there was a lot of things that I wanted from John, but he was not able to give to me, that I was able to continue to have all my needs met according to God's riches and glory through him and through the Lord alone. And so until my husband was able to regain strength, I was okay in the hands of the Lord. Like, I don't know how people do these situations. I don't know how people live through these seasons outside of a relationship with the Lord. I just don't know. Because honestly, like, if you guys really ask me, I will literally tell you, I feel like this dude lost his mind for a second. Like, I will literally say that. I will stand by it. I'll get it notarized. I'll get that statement notarized.
Mm-mm.
I feel like this dude lost his mind for a little bit. Like, and I'm not saying like crazy, but I'm saying like he wasn't himself. He wasn't himself. And when he wasn't himself, I didn't get lost because of the Lord. I was sustained. I didn't lose myself because now my husband, my spouse, like, is different. So now I'm supposed to know, like, the Lord sustained me. And so, because y'all, we all can go through some seasons. Like, it makes me think about people whose spouse goes through like Alzheimer's. Like, when people grow old together, like that could be a thing. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do with who you are? What do you do with your identity when your spouse that you've been married to for so many years, your best friend for over I don't know how many years? What happens when your spouse loses the memory of you, loses the ability to be the partner that they were for you? Like, what happens to you? The Lord is our substance.
That is.
In all times, at all seasons, you know, all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for the Lord and who he was to both of us.
Yeah. And I know just for me, one of the revelations that I had when I was in the hospital is the vows that we took. And it's funny because when I said it, I meant it. When I said, I'm with you with sickness and in health, for better or worse, till death do us part, forsaking all others.
Yeah.
Right? I took those vows. I took them. I said them, she said them. But then she showed me those vows when I was unable to walk, when I was unable to use the bathroom by myself, when I couldn't even bathe myself, when my wife in sickness and in health, that when she came in, dude, I'm trying to tell you, men, if there's any men on here, would your wife, have you ever thought in your mind that your wife would have to change your diaper? And that's humiliating. But then I started thinking, she's a woman of her word, and she's a woman of the word. And she's like, no, this is my husband.
This is what it is.
I love him. and I'm going to take care of him. Matter of fact, she got to the point she was telling the nurses to back up.
Yeah, this is where we're at.
This is what I'm going to do, because I'm going to make, because those nurses aren't going to take care of my husband the way
I will,
the way that she will.
That's how I felt.
And that's how she did. And I just remember one time she washed me. I'm trying not to get emotional. When my wife washed me, because everybody always sees this picture of Christ and you see the manliness of Christ. But I want you to also see the feminine side. If I can say this right, and maybe you guys can crucify me for saying it like this, but the love of God isn't male and it's not female. It's God.
It has nurturing attributes. Nurturing aspects.
And it's not male or female. It's God. It's the agape love. And when she washed me, listen to what I'm saying. And I remember because I had messed myself, and she came and she washed me. And when she washed me, my wife, my love of my life, came and washed me. I felt the washing and the cleansing of the Holy Spirit cleanse me and how dirty I was. And she began to just clean. You know, there's so many songs that just wash me over and over and over. And I felt being cleansed, and I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed because I was 140 pounds. I was a wreck. I couldn't walk, but yet my wife came and showed the love of God, the nurturing aspect, the agape love of God. And she just washed me and cleansed me and set me up and made me feel whole again. Even in my broken state, she came and loved on me. So I thank God for you for that.
Of course. And I feel like most wives, we do what we got to do when we got to do it. Because I feel like outside of that, and in addition to that, I would do the same thing for my kids. You know what I mean? Like, when our kids get a certain age, we don't think that we'd have to change them or do different things but you'll do it if you have to. And that's just love. And I do not second guess that John would do the exact same for me. I would literally tell the nurses and the doctors, no, thank you. I don't need that service. My husband's going to do that.
But that happened.
I would literally expect him to do that.
You remember when the nurse came in one time, she says, do you want me to wash you?
Yeah, it was literally it's like another Coming to America moment.
It literally like that.
Well, lady, it was just a cute little nurse girl, y'all. She was cute. She's a cute little thing too. And she walked in the room and was like, Mr. Butcher, would you like for your, what did she say, your bath? Would you like me to give you a bath?
No, would you like me to bathe you?
Would you like me to bathe you, Mr. Butcher? And she said it in such a great, like, you know, just a wonderful, soft Mr. Butcher. And I'm sitting there in the room and she comes in like, Mr. Butcher.
And Jawan, my son.
Yeah, our middle son. Mr. Butcher, would you like for me to bathe you? And it was so funny. I'll never forget. Like, I looked at John. Jawan looked at John like, oh, what you about to say?
Jawan looked at me like,
what's his answer going to be? I'm like, yeah, please tell us. Would you like for her to bathe you? Would you like that, sir? Would you? Yeah. But with a straight face, he's like, no, thank you. I'm okay. You know? So, but we had a big old laugh after she left the room, though.
It was hilarious.
It was funny. But it's something that I just think all of us would do when we got to do it, you know? And so, yeah.
Yep, no thank you.
Yeah. Right? No, thank you. But I let him answer for himself. I'm like, I'm not gonna answer. I want to see what John's gonna say. Like, inquiring minds would like to know, sir. Would you like for her to bathe you, sir?
No, ma'am.
She was a cute little thing too, you guys.
No, thank you.
But yeah, he passed the test, y'all. He said no, thank you.
Get thee behind me.
That was a great moment. It was like, woo! I heard the what do you call it? Drum roll. That was great. Yeah. But yeah, that was a whole issue. I don't know what we're gonna talk about next week, but I'm gonna tell you, as the medications came off, as John got a lot stronger, when we got home, I was really serious, really wanting to get him on this gut health regimen. And I was praying about it. And I was literally like, this dude won't eat his vegetables. So I don't see him being able to get on these plant-based gut health supplements. I just don't see him wanting to do it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it for me first. and I'm just going to pray. And then I'm sitting there talking to a friend or somebody. I think we were at a staff meeting at church, and I started talking to her about gut health and the supplements I started taking. And he was in the background kind of just listening. And he said, gut health, like, I want that. I've been researching that. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I've been researching that on my own. I'm like, Jesus, you are so real. Cause I was like, I don't know how I'm going to talk him into doing this. If I can't get him to eat vegetables, I'm not going to be able to get him on gut health supplements, you know?
So watch this though. So even with all that, so when I got back, I'm taking all this medication, y'all, all kinds of medication. And okay, don't quote me on this, but I'm going to tell you what's happened in my life. All right. Since I started doing gut health, watch this. I went from I actually got down to like 14 pills in the morning. I'm now down to 8 pills in the morning, and 2 of those are
vitamins.
Yeah, they're vitamins. Mm-hmm. I literally got off of prednisone, completely off of prednisone. They're lowering my other medication because my heart is doing so well, and I literally contribute that to the gut health plan that we do.
Yeah. So it's been really great to see him just strong, and see just the doctors during our checkups, the doctor's response to him, and seeing how strong he's gotten, and they're just like feeling good about, all right, take this off. You don't need this. Take this off. So that's been really great to see.
I'm going to say this too, Ariel. I'm going to just say this to you again because you can't say anything back, so I can actually say something. Ariel,
she's talking in the comments.
She's talking
for sure.
But Ariel, she's a friend of ours, and I just want to let everybody know that God told Peter, He said, "Kill and eat."
You don't have to kill veggies. No.
He said, "Eat the meat, okay?" Yeah. And it's okay. Meat is good.
Yeah, but for sure, veggies definitely do heal. And so this guy, I can't get him to eat his veggies, but he is taking a plant-based regimen on gut health, which is plants, made from plants. So he's getting that share in there. And it's got rid of getting rid of a lot of my brain fog. Mm-hmm. That's gotten a lot better. A lot better. Yeah. Recall of words. Yeah. It's starting to get a lot better. His sweet cravings are a lot better because his gut's a lot healthier. Mm-hmm. And so we're happy. We're going to just keep going. We're going to see, what's next for us as far as how his strength continues to improve and just get better and better. So, man, just so blessed, you guys. Just like we were talking about last week, like I never saw this. Like I didn't see this in the midst of like our hardest moment when things seemed the darkest. I didn't see this. You didn't see it coming. But I'm so thankful that the Lord would deliver us to this moment. This last Thanksgiving, it's just like, it was a deeper level of gratitude that I had, because like I'm so thankful. Like I didn't know how much of my husband's strength was going to come back. I didn't know how much was going to come back and how much was going to kind of be lost. And so, this Thanksgiving was really special for us because I just literally was just lost and just overwhelmed in the gratitude and the goodness of the Lord. Mm-hmm. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for your life. Thank you. Yes. And thank you for fighting, and thank you for not giving up. Because I definitely know there were some times you wanted to. There were some times. Thank you so much for not giving up and being here with me and the kids and all of our friends and our family, because we love you and we don't know what life would be like without you. And I don't want to find out. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. I don't know what we're talking about next week. Probably something random. No, we're still going to talk about the other side of hope. Oh, yeah. Because there's some other things we want to talk about. Because we want to talk about things not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, all those things. Mentally, we want to talk about mental stuff that we're dealing with. Mm-hmm. And I just want to share that with everybody. And yes, Thailand, it helps me. The plexus, it's gotten rid of, not, I won't say get rid of my sweet cravings. I still like sweets, but I don't buy like 3 dozen of sugar cookies from Angel Polk. I don't do that anymore. I usually But if Angel gifts him some cookies, he's taking them. I'm gonna eat them. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna eat them in a day like I usually would. Mm-hmm. I'll eat them and then I'll share them with the family. Yeah. So yeah. We love you guys. We hope you have a great Monday. Mm-hmm. And we'll be traveling back to California soon. Yeah. So we'll see y'all in Cali. And listen, guys, please, subscribe, like us on YouTube. Share it and everything else like that, and because we want to help others. If we're going to be an open book, we want other people to see
what it's a book.
Be able
Read
to read
it.
from it.
Yeah, and learn from it.
Yeah.
So if we can do that, we just want to be able to help other marriages and other people out in their lives journey.
Have
All
a
right.
great day.
All right, y'all.
Happy Coffee Date Monday.
We'll see you guys.
Have a great week. See you soon.
Bye.